From secret caves and Chinese pyramids to cities floating on the water, here are 12 of the world's most mysterious ancient structures. Number 12. Stonehenge. It's simply not cricket to ignore what many regard as the world's most famous mysterious structure, so let's start things off with that legendary stone circle. Even after all this time and study, its origins are still cloudy, but most archaeologists think that its construction occurred in phases that lasted from 3000 to 1500 BC. As for its function, Stonehenge has been linked from everything from druids to UFOs. Early in its existence, the site might have been used as a burial ground. That theory arose after some 50,000 cremated human bones were found in one of the 56 holes that are located in a circle there. Another theory speculates that the burials could coincide with a belief that the monument has cultural elements. Afflicted people might have made the journey to Stonehenge in hopes of being healed. Number 11. Darren Caillou. Located about 200 feet, 60 metres below the surface of central Turkey, you'll find this ancient multi-level city. Researchers say it was constructed from caves during the 8th to 7th centuries BC. Covering about 1.5 miles or 2.4 kilometres, the city was vast enough to shelter some 20,000 people, along with food stores and livestock. Chapels, stables and storage rooms have also been found throughout several levels of the subterranean city. Inhabitants were able to breathe fresh air thanks to deep ventilation shafts that extended to every part of the city. Darren Caillou was an impressive feat of engineering, and it remained inhabited until the 1920s when it was finally abandoned. Did you know that miles of tunnels connected this site to other underground cities in Turkey? Number 10. Adlet Yam. The name refers to an ancient submerged village that is located off the coast of Adlet Yam in Israel. The Neolithic site is said to date back nearly 9,000 years and lies about 40 feet or 12 metres below the surface in the Mediterranean Sea. Overall, it encompasses some 10 acres or 40,000 square metres, and the site has presented its fair share of mysteries. Archaeologists say there's evidence of the inhabitants suddenly abandoning the village, but it's unknown why. And several round structures have been found, including a stone semicircle comprised of 7 megaliths. Those stone formations each weigh about 1,300 pounds, 600 kilos, and have cup-like markings carved into them. While experts think the formation was used for some sort of ritual, its exact purpose is still unknown. Did you know some sources call this the Atlantis of Israel? Number 9. Brunner Bonnier. Also known as Boyne Palace, this is considered one of the most important prehistoric landscapes in the world and covers more than 1,900 acres in Ireland, that's 8 square kilometres. Humans have settled in the area for more than 6,000 years, but major structures date to around 5,000 years ago. The complex contains Neolithic mounds, standing stones and chamber tombs, some of which are estimated to date to the 35th century BC. That would predate the Egyptian pyramids. There are 3 main megalith sites here, and 2 of them have displayed solar alignments with the winter solstice. The third is aligned towards the spring and autumn equinox. Number 8. Chinese pyramids. Pyramids are typically linked with Egypt, but the structures appear in other parts of the world as well. While unknown to much of the West until the early 20th century, pyramids can be found in China that date back thousands of years. The best known structure is likely the mausoleum of the first Qin emperor. It's located beneath a mound that stands some 76 metres tall, 250 feet, and has a pyramidal shape. Chances are you'll know this site for the discovery of the Terracotta Army in 1974. It was comprised of 8,000 small clay soldiers that would protect the emperor in the afterlife. With an estimated age exceeding 2,000 years, most of this complex is still unexcavated, and that includes the emperor's tomb. Number 7. Baalbek. Ages ago, this city in Lebanon was known as Heliopolis and was annexed by the Romans. These days, many marvels of Roman engineering remain preserved there. Among the ruins found in this city's temple complex is a monolith identified as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, said to weigh around 997 metric tons or 1,100 US tons. Another massive monolith located nearby is a stone that measures 64 feet long, 20 meters, and weighs an estimated 1,650 metric tons or over 1,800 US tons. Some experts say it might be the largest ancient block in the world. The Temple of Jupiter is a colossal structure that was constructed with massive blocks that weighed as much as 100 metric tons, or 110 US tons, at a height exceeding 19 meters or 62 feet. Because Roman cranes weren't able to lift such enormous weights, it's unknown how the objects were transported from the quarry to the site. Number 6. The Venice of the Pacific. Until being rediscovered in 1928, the floating city of Nan Mardol had been forgotten for centuries. Its name means spaces between, and that was a reference to the tidal canals that connected 92 artificial islands, which contained elaborate stone structures. Ruins of the city are located in a lagoon off the coast of Micronesia, where it's sometimes referred to as the Venice of the Pacific. Nan Mardol was constructed throughout several centuries by a civilization that vanished around 400 years ago. More than 750,000 metric tons, or 827,000 US tons of basalt rock was used during its creation. But that presents a mystery. The city was constructed without the use of pulleys or levers because those inventions were unknown in the region at that time. So how exactly did the inhabitants manage to build this city over the centuries? That makes it both a marvel and a mystery of engineering. Number 5. Gant Aicha. This megalithic site in Malta is comprised of 2 temples that were built around 3600 BC during the Neolithic. At more than 5,500 years old, these are the earliest such structures found on Malta. Judging from figurines and statues found in the area, experts say that the site was probably used for fertility rituals. But while that seems to solve one mystery, there's another one that still hasn't been explained. At the time of their construction, the people who built the structures would not have had the wheel or metal tools. A few theories, including the use of ball bearings to transport the stone blocks, has been considered, but it's still unknown exactly how these temples were constructed. Number 4. The Lanju Caves. These subterranean structures were initially discovered in the 1990s when a village pond in eastern China was drained to reveal a flooded artificial cavern made of sandstone. So far, experts have located 24 of the caverns, which have a combined total area that exceeds 30,000 square meters or 320,000 square feet. While they were certainly made by humans, the caverns don't interconnect with one another. There are plenty of questions about this site, including its age. The best estimates indicate the caverns existed before the rise of the Qin dynasty in 221 BC. The bigger mysteries concern their purpose and the people who made them. There is no historical record of the caverns' construction, nor their existence. Number 3. Puma Punku. The name of this structure means the door of the puma, and it's estimated to date back to the 6th century AD. Experts say this is part of a sprawling temple complex where the Inca believed the world was created. It's also the location of some amazing feats of ancient engineering. The walls of Puma Punku were comprised of finely cut stone blocks that interlocked together like a puzzle and used no mortar. Many of the stones fit together so precisely that not even a razor blade can fit between them. The largest stone block stands nearly 8 meters tall, 26 feet, and weighs more than 130 metric tons. That's 287,000 pounds. Archaeologists say the massive stones were transported up steep inclines from a quarry at least 10 kilometers or 6 miles away. Even with a huge labor force, it's unknown how these enormous blocks were moved over such a distance. Number 2. Gobekli Tepe. Excavation on this archaeological site in southeastern Turkey commenced in 1996, but it was first noted when the area was surveyed in the early 1960s, and it had been waiting there a long time before being discovered. The mysterious location's age is estimated as far back as the 10th millennium BC. Archaeologists have found over 200 T-shaped pillars formed into about 20 circles. Each pillar is 20 feet tall, 3 meters, and weighs some 20,000 pounds, 9 metric tons. Whoever built this place was fond of the number 20, weren't they? If Gobekli Tepe's estimated age is accurate, these will represent the world's oldest monoliths known to date. With a diameter of almost 1,000 feet, 300 meters, this site has presented researchers with more questions than answered. When it was first discovered, it was thought to be a cemetery. Now some experts think it may have served as a sanctuary or a settlement. Since less than 5% of the area has been excavated, it could be a long time before anything is known for sure. Number 1. Durrington Walls, Stonehenge. We started with Stonehenge, so let's wrap things up with Superhenge. There's a site about 2 miles away, 3 kilometres from Stonehenge, that is even larger. Durrington Walls measures some 1,600 feet, 488 metres in diameter, and is thought to be around 4,500 years old. Archaeologists say that the settlement likely contained as many as 1,000 houses and 4,000 individuals. But their time of settlement was brief, estimated at less than 50 years. Did you know that Durrington Walls is Britain's largest henge? For that matter, do you know what a henge is? The term refers to a type of Neolithic earthwork which is usually circular and can have an internal ditch that surrounds an area of flat land. Here's to hoping you enjoyed this Henge to Henge episode. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for our next exciting episode right here on Epic Wildlife.